Hey guys, welcome to another edition of Wine Wednesday. Technically, it's the first edition of Wine Wednesday because I've never actually done a live, never actually done a live version of Wine Wednesday. And you're probably thinking like, hey, what's Wine Wednesday? And that's when I drink wine and talk. I was doing it on Snapchat, but I'm trying something new. So yeah, if you got any comments or questions or anything, feel free to leave it. I'll try and respond at the end. I don't want to just keep interrupting my flow of thought and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it would be really cool if I could like do interviews and stuff. So I'm hoping like if this live thing takes off, I can eventually kind of switch it over to doing interviews and like talking with my friends and having cool conversations, because I'm friends with cool people and I think you would like them because I like them, and if you like the things that I like, then it would be really fun. Anyways, like I said, leave a comment at the end and I'll try and get back to them later. Otherwise, let's get some wine. So I actually didn't go, this is very spur of the moment. I wasn't really planning on doing this today. So I didn't have any cool new wines. So I had to steal my girlfriend's rosé, which I don't know anything about rosé other than I know I bought this for her at the liquor store and it was the cheapest one I could find because I'm fancy like that. And maybe it's carbonated. Yeah, it's definitely carbonated. So there's that. I guess it's like champagne. I don't know. It's not a whole lot left in there anyways. It kind of, yeah, it's like a champagne, Chardonnay, Kool-Aid. Tastes like Kool-Aid with hobo piss. Like a little, just a little sprinkle of it. Yeah. So, someone the other day was trying to show me this, y'all heard of Sahara, that the anonymous app? Someone was trying to get me on that the other day, or they were showing me around. I don't know, you gotta be cool and with it. And so I was taking a look, and yeah, it's an anonymity app, and fuck that. I don't want to know what people think about me, to be completely honest. So if you're going to comment things about me, you will absolutely hurt my feelings if you say something bad, just so you know. I have no qualms saying that I am a relatively insecure individual. I feel like it's fairly normal. I am a coward in the costume of a coward. So yeah, I wasn't really digging the app. And the other thing is, I feel like these apps, these little anonymous apps, literally come around every couple of years. And I'm, super gonna date myself when I say this, but, when I was, a middle schooler, AOL Instant Messenger, there's, a version of some kind of anonymous app. When I was doing, MySpace had one, the old school blogs used to, well, Ask Me, that was one that was what? That wasn't even 3 or 4 years ago that one started. And it's just every couple of years these new anonymous apps come out, and there's always some kind of shiny twist to it, oh, this one's about, usually they try and sell it to you like this, well, who has a crush on you? And everyone wants to know who's got crushes on them. Everyone wants to be that, person with 20 crushes, or even if you have one crush, it's even if it's that weird nerdy kid in the back room, it's still a pretty cool feeling knowing someone likes you. And so it's really appealing and provocative thing to want to know what people think about you. And don't get me wrong, I know that it's supposed to be marketed, or from what I was told about it, this app, and all the others, are supposed to be marketed as a positive thing, say a compliment, something you would never share with them. I just spilled fucking rosé all over my jeans, and I don't have enough. God damn it. Yeah. I guess where I'm trying to eventually go with this is like, yeah, you want like the compliments and like what do people actually think about me? Like, you know, hopefully they think like, oh man, Derek, you have like the super nice ass in second period math class, and then like, yeah, that's cool. Thanks for complimenting my butt. I know my butt looks awesome. Thanks, dude. Like, and get 20 compliments on my butt in math class is like a pretty cool thing. But then there's like always that one comment. There's always like that one person who comes in and is like, I hope your dog dies, Derek, because your nose is really big. And I'm just like, yeah, my nose is kind of big, but like, why do you want my dog to, like, that's a really messed up thing to say, man. And like, you can forget about all those 20 other compliments about how awesome your butt looks or whatever, and the only thing you'll think about, like the one thing that you'll dwell on is the fact that your nose is big or whatever, you know? And I guess the real danger here is not about knowing that you got a big nose and people want you, like that shit. The real danger is that is bullying without any social repercussion. And like, social stigma exists for like an evolutionary like reason, and when someone can get away with just saying horrible shit to you without any kind of repercussion, like, what value does that provide to anyone other than that sadist that's trying to hurt you? Essentially, bullies who do that, who like go on these anonymous apps, like, they obviously probably feel bad about their kind of, like, and I know this is a cliche, they feel bad about their own life or their own station or whatever, wherever they're at, you know, they don't like the way their nose looks or whatever, like, and so they want to take it out on you. By lowering you, it makes them feel, or like, they might perceive you as a person of confidence, or they might perceive you as someone who has something. Or they might even perceive you as someone who has nothing, and they want to see you fall even lower because it just makes them feel better about where they're at in life and where their station is at. And to them, that's the value it provides, while as minimalistic as it is, and is completely detrimental for your own health and your own well-being. And the crazy thing about this type of like behavior is, like, again, these apps have been around for like the beginning of the universe, but I guess like the actual scary thing is like, it's not where this app in particular is going. So I'm not even talking about this app in particular, but just like where our culture is headed with like kind of like the social, the political landscape of just like, we can just like anonymously hide behind computers and talk shit and make fun of each other and call each other names, and we can't have like any kind of meaningful discussion without it devolving into like politics, for instance, is always a toxic conversation no matter what, so I'm not even going to go there myself. But the fact that we can all just want a better society, we all just, you know, we all basically want what's best for our culture, but we all have different views on how to achieve it, and then somehow that leads to arguments that gives us people calling you like, you're a snowflake, or take your participation trophy, or, you know, like that kind of bullshit. And I don't want to like, no, we can't just pin this on one person or anything like this. This is just where we're headed with this anonymous culture, which again, it has been around forever. It's just, it's taking a whole new kind of turn. So okay, how do we fight that kind of bullshit, sadism, bullying? That's a really good fucking question. I have like 2 stories of being bullied that I can specifically recall that have a positive outcome. So when I was like Oh, how old was I? It's like second grade, so it was like 8 or 9, probably like 8. I was walking home from school, and I had this friend, and he's like this big kid for our grade, just like really like, he was like 1.5 feet taller than me, and like, I guess he'd be like considered a little overweight. I don't know, just a big dude. All right, it was a big dude, and his other kids, they were like 4 grades older than us, like way. They were like 5th or 6th graders, and we're like 2nd graders. And they just kept following us home every day for like a week or 2, and they just kept picking on my friend, not me. For whatever reason, they didn't care about me. They just cared about my friend, who was bigger and heavier, and which is ironic because he was bigger than they were, and they were like 3, 4 years older. But they were just tearing him down, making fun of his weight, and just, you know, calling him all these names. And I was the one getting pissed. My friend was just taking it, but I was the one who was like, nah, this ain't cool. So, like, I was, you know, normal size, I guess, maybe a little, but in that grade. But anyone who's 4 years older than you when you're 8 is, like, massive. Anyways, I turn around, and I just whack the guy in the nutsack as hard as I could. And, I mean, it sort of worked, but he grabbed onto my leg as I was, like, mid-foot in the testicular region, and he grabbed my leg, and he shoved me into this, thorn bush, like, it was like a thorn bush, basically. But, at that exact point in time, another character who I've not introduced to the story is my sister, who's 4 years older and in the same grade as this boy. And my sister was a little, like, way down the road from us and just started booking it, like, hightailing it down the street, like, dead sprinting. She catches up to us, like, catches the guy that had tossed me in the bush while I'm still, like, scrambling this bush, grabs the guy and slams him into a mailbox. Like, full on. And him and his friend, like, literally ran away like it was like some 90s movie. At least, you know, it was the 90s, so that's how it's played out in my head. But him and his buddy just, like, run away. And they never fucked with us after that. And, you know, I still think they probably have, like, a thing for my sister or whatnot. Or, again, they were just trying to make fun of the big kid because they thought it made him look cool. I don't really know what their intent was. But I protected myself. I protected my friend, and honestly, I didn't do a great job. But someone else came up and protected me too, and they whooped his ass. And I was never bullied again. So I think, okay, so the point here is not advocating violence. Don't get me wrong. It's not about saying, like, fight hate with hate. Like, I'm not trying to, like, go punch Nazis and like, I'm not trying to do that thing. What I'm trying to say, though, is stand up for yourself. Because I think a lot of people will, like, bully or pick on people who they assume are weaker than them or in some kind of lower station, and they don't expect any kind of social repercussions. Same with these anonymous apps. They just assume, well, they don't know who I am, so I can say whatever the fuck I want. And there's nothing negative that can happen to me. But when your crush goes and smushes your face into the side of a brick mailbox, then yeah, you're probably going to learn your lesson, and that social repercussion is going to prevent you from doing that kind of shit again. So I think there's a value to standing up for yourself. And again, I'm not advocating violence or anything like that. I'm just saying, don't let them win because of your, like, weakness. Another example is, like, I mean, it's really no secret, I'm, like, a Christian guy. Like, I try and put myself out there for others, but a lot of times, especially when I was, like, newer to that world, I was very much walked on like a doormat. Like, people would try and take advantage of me. Even, like, as a local musician, this shit happens all the time, where people think, oh, well, he won't say anything because I'm this, you know, whatever in the scene, and he's not going to want to put himself in any kind of danger by saying anything negative or bad. But the truth is, if you're, like, shitting all over me and you're, like, negatively affecting something I'm working hard on, like, I could go and, like, talk shit or whatever, or I could just straight up call you out on it and be like, yo, how about you just, you know, stop being a fucking douchebag, and we can work through this, and we can talk it out, and we can be men about it, and we can move on. And that has always worked for me. It has always worked out. It is always, I'm not saying like it heals all things and you can go be besties with your bully, but it helps in not being walked on. And yeah, I mean, like, don't go like bitch slapping your boss in the face. Like, know your limitations, but at the same time, like, you don't have to be the victim. So I think the danger of anonymity apps is the lack of social repercussions. So don't let them have no repercussion for their shitty actions. So anyway, that's just the other story. What was the other story I want to talk about? Yeah, I'm not digging the rose, man. I don't know, whatever. Second story, I was in high school, and I moved around a lot as a kid, and like I actually never went to the same school more than twice. And the cool thing about moving a lot is you can kind of just reinvent yourself. It's really hard if you're shy, but it teaches shy people how to be outgoing, and it's literally the only reason I could be doing this kind of thing right now. But I became known in my school as like a musician, as a writer, as a guitar player, etc., etc. And I got kind of plugged in with a community of other musicians. We go to local shows, we play music together. But I remember one or two of them, it was a large group, but like one or two of them would like just talk about how my guitar playing, my style was weird or was off. They said I played like a cowboy. And I guess, well, the reason would be because I was self-taught, and I taught myself guitar by like learning like Jimi Hendrix songs, and like I started off doing classic rock, so I learned how to do like a lot of lead playing, and I came from Nashville. I lived in Nashville for a bit, so I just kind of had this like natural kind of like folky bluesy type style. And anyways, they would make fun of me for it, and they'd tell me that my writing sucked or my guitar playing sucked, which is ironic because it was also the only reason I was like even known like in my school to begin with, was because I play guitar and kicked everyone's ass at the town show. I don't know, whatever. Yeah, I didn't stop writing, and I didn't stop my style. In fact, I was like, you know what? You don't like my style? You don't like my playing? You don't like the way I write? Fuck you, because I'm gonna go twice as hard. I'm gonna write twice as much. I'm gonna explore my style to the limits, and I'm gonna be me, and I'm gonna do it until I perfect it, until I perfect songwriting, until I perfect my style, until I went the complete opposite direction. Whereas they wanted to extinguish the flames, I think. And I mean, I don't know, and this could be my own ego, but I think a lot of it was like wanting to squash my own like tenacious writing and ambition and my desire to play, because they wanted to be in bands and they wanted to do this, but they weren't writing and they weren't doing anything. They were just shitting on someone like pigeons seeing cars moving faster than them. They're just like, blah. And that was what it was. And so I took that and I was like, oh, I could, stop and quit because they don't like my work, my friends don't like my work, or I could double down. And I did double down, and I play music, and I still play music, and I still write, and I still love it, and I meet cool people, and I do cool shit, and my whole life is completely different because I kept doing it, I kept at it. And I'm not, Taylor Swift, I ain't winning Grammys and whatnot, but I have a lot of cool people that I meet on a daily basis. I love my bandmates. I love playing music, and yeah, I have no regrets about it. And if I wasn't so goddamn bullied, I might not be writing the songs that I write. So I guess the takeaway from that is, like, let it make you angry. Like, it's okay to be angry. Honestly, it's more than okay. I honestly believe anger is a gift from God. Like, anger is motivation, which breeds inspiration, which leads to going after that new job because you're wanting to spite your old boss, which leads to acing that test in school because that teacher thought you were a moron, or it leads to starting a band and doing cool shit that you thought you'd never get to do. Yeah. So I think it's okay to be angry. I think it's a lot more than okay to be angry. I think it's learning how to harness. I think it's, again, when it comes to things like bullying and pressure and anxiety, you can't let it break you, because what doesn't kill you doesn't always make you stronger. What doesn't kill you sometimes just makes you bitter. And that's what you want to avoid. You want the cliche of becoming stronger. So, I mean, is it okay? Whatever about the anonymous apps, whatever about the bullies in your life, I think it all comes down to you, because the only thing, of course, is cliche, but the only thing that you can control is you. So just be careful with the kind of stuff that you bring into your life, like those apps, and like the kind of people that you bring into your life, and even more so, be careful with how you react to what is, to what life has brought you. Yeah. All right. I think that's enough. I'm going to do some announcements, and I'm going to swipe back over and see if anyone left any comments. Announcements. Oh, we announced a new show today. Levi the Poet. He was a good friend of mine. We played him like 2 or 3 times. Dude is one of the best poets I've ever seen live, ever. And just a huge inspiration to the band and I, in every sense of the word. And I've had a lot of good conversations with him, and it's funny because we're talking about bullying, but he's like, what is the opposite of a bully? Like a mentor, or like a, I don't know. I mean, I'm not that close, but the dude is a really great guy and a crazy good poet. And Listener, the headliner, if you haven't listened to Listener, definitely check them out. They're just also an incredible band that's based around poetry, similar to like Hotel Books or something like that. So check them out. We also got a show later this month, headlining an acoustic house show. It's free. It's for Johnny Cupcakes, the clothing line. My band is super pumped because they love Johnny Cupcakes. Playing with some really good friends of ours. It's just going to be a lot of good vibes. So if you just want to be surrounded by cool people, loving people, listen to some cool acoustic music, have a free house show, definitely check that out. That's at the end of this month. What's the last announcement would be about our new album coming out. We just finished recording our new album, which is called And Suddenly Nothing Becomes Everything. We're super proud of it. We definitely think it's our best work to date, by a long shot. And we're hoping to premiere the single in about 2 weeks. It's nothing official. If it was, I would have announced it. But I assure you that we're working hard on getting it out. We're just trying to do things the right way, and unfortunately the right way tends to take a lot of time. So that's it for announcements. Let's see if anyone says anything. Hi, Katie. No one has anything to say, or did I just, oh, now they're coming in. Oh, what up, y'all? Thai Kid. You do have a lovely butt, man. Especially when you're playing that bass, man. It's all about your bass. I like it when you like spin around and shit. You're one of my favorite bassists in the scene, dude. And Devin's from Lux. The band's awesome. You guys got a killer freaking show coming up with Jared and the Mill. Oh, you guys are playing at Van Buren too, dude. That's fucking dope. I'm so jealous of that. Eric, if you and I both did this, it would be at Dylan. Let's do it, man. Come on over. Like I said, I said at the beginning of the video, I know not everyone was here for all of it, but I really want to invite like guests and like, I don't know, You listen to like Joe Rogan podcast or anything like that, where he just like talks to his buddies and shoots the shit? I think it's cool. Just like talking and having fun. And I like having like heart to heart conversations. So I like, I don't know, talking to real people, having real good combos. Okay, that's it. I hope I didn't disable comments or anything, but cool. Alright, well, I hope you guys enjoy this Wine Wednesday. Again, I'm going to try and make it weekly again. Yeah, I'll talk to you guys later.